What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Savoy, and we're returning for the final track on their 2004 self-titled album, and it's called Isotope. I suspect maybe there's some figurative meaning at play here, but most literally an isotope is a nuclear species, or indeed a nuclide of a type of chemical element, which is to say all the chemical elements have a fixed atomic number. That's the number of protons in the nucleus, and if you change that, you're changing what element it is. But they can have varying numbers of neutrons, which changes the atomic weight, and even if the chemical properties of the atom remain the same, the physical properties, which is what we deal with in the macroscopic world, they can actually vary because of that. So yes, an isotope refers to a version of an atom that has a variant or changed number of neutrons. And if you change the number of electrons, it becomes an ion. So there's different ways you can alter atoms and the chemical elements. But most specifically, an isotope refers to a change in the number of neutrons. So if I were to guess, I would say maybe this could relate to a group of similar entities that are all categorized the same, but they do have varying characteristics based on little subtle differences at their core. So that would be my guess, or at least a possible interpretation. Maybe we're literally going to talk about the physical chemical processes at play here, but I would find that maybe less likely. Either way, I'll pick up what I can on a first listen. This is Savoy, the tune is Isotope, and it's the last track on their 2004 self-titled album. Sounded like a funeral dirge, and then a spaghetti western guitar came in.
Dead of the winter, snow gently falling, stillness surrounds us, church bells are calling.
I heard that.
Out in the distance, cuts through the gray clouds. I couldn't live here now. Maybe one day, maybe someday soon. Dead of the winter, tracks in the new snow, see where they lead to, see where they will go, into the forest. Somebody's waiting. I wouldn't go there now. You do what you want, you do or you don't. You're cold.
Carbon emissions
sound in the middle of it. And also that oscillating resonance. What crazy sonics. And the dirge bell still. We have lost cabin pressure. What a fascinating tune sonically, but I'll try to think of the lyrics first while they're somewhat fresh in my head. I heard Paul's lyrics more clearly than I heard Lauren's. Paul talking about how there's a stillness around and it's a cold winter and there's church bells off in the distance and the gray skies or gray clouds and freshly fallen snow and tracks in the snow. So I'm not sure what to make of all that, but it's a very visually clear and vivid scene. Lauren, again, I didn't hear her lyrics as well, and in part because even when she started singing, again, in her sort of higher vocal register, Paul's vocals were offset. They weren't quite overlapping, although I guess partially overlapping, but I was still keying in more on what Paul was saying, so I don't quite know how to fit Lauren's lyrics into the whole. But yes, it definitely paints a very visual scene, and him saying that he can't live there now, but maybe he will one day, so I'm not sure. I almost wondered if that was actually what he desired, because on one level you would think that would be the case, but the description was sort of bleak, and he didn't exactly sound enthusiastic about it, so I wonder if there's an inevitability, maybe even a reluctance, but an acceptance that maybe it will end up happening, that he'll be in this still place with the gray skies and the freshly fallen snow. So maybe it is something he wants, but it didn't quite feel that way. Sonically, all these different elements, again, this sort of frontier, old western style guitar at the base of everything, but there was a section with this like held organ chord. There was that like drag sort of sound in the middle of it. I don't even know how to describe it. Just like this pulling, distorted kind of sound at the center of the track. Then there was that high, almost like rapidly oscillating tune which went through a couple configurations but was like this very intense sound. Stood out a lot at the end of the track, but it was definitely in the tune before that. And then this sort of overall atmospheric ambiance, which gave it that, the snow is falling and the stillness of snow. I haven't been in snow that much. I'm from Southern California, but I have been in it a couple times. And I remember once when I was in it and it was falling, it was like everything went really quiet when it was happening. So maybe there is some sonic expression of what is being visually described. So I really don't know what to make of it, but a very evocative and attention-capturing tune to finish the record. And I like the way it didn't it felt like it was fading, but then suddenly it gave a proper ending as it felt. So overall, just a really fascinating tune that I don't quite know what to do with yet, but I'm really curious to A, hear it again, and B, read comments from people about it. So once again, thank you to Graham and to all the folks who've been following the Savoy deep dive. And ultimately, we move on to another album. So tell me what you think. I will see you next time. Peace. Hello, Luca.